Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Registration of Sri Lanka cricket suspended. Interim committee chaired by Arjuna Ranatunga takes over. Sri Lanka takes on Bangladesh today in Delhi. Heavy showers expected in the afternoon. Colombo Badula main road from Beragala to Haldumulla remains closed. Gammadda door-to-door program launched. A section of Marine Drive near the Bambalapitiya railway station temporarily closed from today.
On to those stories in detail. Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe issued an extraordinary gazette suspending the registration of Sri Lanka cricket with effect from Sunday. The decision was taken in view of the corruption, malpractices, irregularities, misconducts and for failing to carry out its duties and functions.
Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe in the Gazette noted that a 7-member interim committee was appointed for the purpose of exercising the powers of Sri Lanka cricket, which until an election is held or until further notice is issued. Former Sri Lanka cricket captain Arjuna Ranatunga was appointed as a chairman of the interim committee. The other members are retired Supreme Court Judge S.I. Imam, retired Supreme Court Judge Rohini Marasinghe, retired High Court Judge Irangani Pereira, H.K. Upali Dharmadasa, Attorney Rakita Nirmala Rajapaksa and M.H. Jamaldeen.
The official ICC Men's Cricket World Cup India 2023.
Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will face off in New Delhi while pollution in the India's capital hits severe plus levels. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will face off at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi for their Cricket World Cup 2023 fixture on Monday. Sri Lanka are in the 7th position on the points table with 4 points from 7 matches. Kusal Janit Pereira and Dunit Vellalage will likely to be called in to replace Dimut Karunaratne and Dushan Emanta. Bangladesh are in the 9th position with 2 points from 7 matches. These two teams have played 53 ODIs against each other so far. Sri Lanka have won 42 out of those and Bangladesh 9. 2 matches did not produce any results. The game between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will start at 2 p.m. Sri Lankan time, and cricket fans can catch all the action live via the MTV MBC Media Network, the official local broadcast rights holders of the ICC Cricket World Cup. The matches can be viewed live on TV1 and www.sirasatv.lk and on TNL. In addition, the match will also be on air on YFM.
Who will have that one? A game to beat Afghanistan, just like we did against England. If you do that, I'm pretty sure that we can win.
The Gammadda door-to-door program will get underway once again on Tuesday, further expanding its scope since its inception a decade ago. The 7th edition of the Gammadda door-to-door program will cover all districts of the island, and launch took place on Monday morning at the head office premises of the Capital Maharaja Group.
Gammadda, made in Sri Lanka.
Gammadda is a movement that is etched in the hearts of minds of all Sri Lankans, big and small alike, as a program that brings about hope for the villages of Sri Lanka. The Gammadda movement goes to the villages, inquires into the issues of the local population and launches projects to address those issues with the assistance of the people themselves. The actual needs of the people are identified by Gammadda with the assistance of experts from the University of Peradeniya and following a comprehensive study into the issues. Many Sri Lankans are currently facing a plethora of hardships following the COVID-19 pandemic, the unprecedented economic crisis, and Gammadda is prepared to identify those issues in order to bring some sort of relief to the people. The 7th edition of the Gammadda door-to-door program will commence tomorrow, and the launch took place under the auspices of Chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, Sashi Rajamahendran, Group CEO Sunil Kanoja, Gammadda leader Shevan Daniel, among others, were present for the launch.
අපි අවුරුදු 7ක් ගෙයින් ගෙට ඇවිත්තා. ජනතාවගේ හඬට සවන් දුන්නා.
We walked the length and breadth of Sri Lanka for 7 years and we listened to the people. We are once again ready to do that. Based on the data collected from previous campaigns, we launched thousands of projects. In addition, hundreds of thousands of Sri Lankans are benefiting from these projects. To the members of Newsfirst, you must be proud of the fact that Gammadda is the only organisation that listens to the people of rural Sri Lanka.
ලංකාවේ ගම්මානවල ඉන්න ජනතාවට සවන් දෙන එකම සංවිධානයේ බවට අපි පත් වී හමාරයි.
Working in the news, and all of you sat in the newsroom, you know we see some of the worst that there is to see. I don't think even the public sees really what we see. And it's very easy to sit there and disassociate yourself from that. You can sort of think this is collateral damage. Yes, it's terrible. Put the story and then you try to forget about it. I mean, that's what people do. But we took this decision that we won't do that. That wherever we can, we'll try and help. And that's why this is so important that you all volunteered your time to do this. You sit there and sometimes you think it's too difficult to fix everything. But that's no reason why you shouldn't try to. And for that, I'm going to thank everyone very much and wish you all the best at this very important thing. Because when you go there from house to house, you are changing lives. You are giving them a voice and you're listening to them.
The Gammadda leaders were pinned the official Gammadda badges at the event.
දැන් වසර 7ක් වැනි කාලයකට මොනතරම් අභියෝග තිබුණත් අපි ගමට ගියා.
Despite facing a plethora of challenges over the past 7 years, we visited the villages and listened to the people. We listened to them, and that is the success of Gammadda. I wish to recall the memory of our late leader at this time. We understand that you are engaging in this journey to visit villages without any personal agenda. You are doing so for your children, your parents, your families, and for your country and its future. We will complete this program by understanding the service that we will be rendering to the people of rural Sri Lanka.
අපේ රටේ දුප්පත් දුෂ්කර ගම්මානවල ජීවත් වන ජනතාවට මොනතරම් සේවයක් වේද.
The Gammadda door-to-door program will head to Kalutara, Jaffna and Trincomalee to meet rural Sri Lankans and listen to them to identify the issues they face.
Gammadda, made in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka's Met Department warned that a minor flood situation may arise in the areas surrounding the Deduroya Valley in the coming hours. The Director of Hydrology and Disaster Management at the Department of Irrigation, SPC Shugishwara, said that minor floods can take place in the Variyapula, Nikavarattiya, Mahava, Kobaigane, Mingiriya, Pallama, Chilau, Arachikattua and Rasnayakapura areas. The flood warning with respect to the Attanagaluoya and the Nilbala River remains in effect.
8 spill gates of the Daduroya Reservoir have been opened. Sluice gates of many small irrigation tanks in Mihintale are being opened as well. Newsfirst correspondents noted Sippikurama, Kirindegama and several other irrigation tanks are amongst them. The move has also resulted in several roads getting flooded as well.
The Colombo-Badulla main road was closed from Beragala to Haldumulla. Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudant Ranasinghe, told Newsfirst that the road was closed due to earth slips and rock falls in the area. An earth slip was reported in the Batgoda area in Beragala along the Colombo-Badulla main road. Newsfirst correspondents said that people living close to the site were evacuated to safe locations.
LAF's Gas announced that it will not be revising the prices of its LP gas products. Chairman of LAF's Gas, K.H. Vegapitiya, confirmed to Newsfirst that the prices will not be revised. Over the weekend, Litro Gas decided to increase the prices of its LP gas products. The Aswasama week commences today. Chairman of the Welfare Benefit Board, Jayanta Vijayratna, said that during this week, only technical and management issues will be addressed.
In an effort to streamline the Aswasama benefit program and address ongoing concerns, the Ministry of Finance has announced the implementation of an Aswasama week from the 6th to the 11th of November. The objective of this initiative is to promptly rectify the issues affecting the program and to ensure that deserving beneficiaries receive their entitled support without further delay.
We hope to address the technical and management issues during the Aswasama week. As we cannot engage in addressing multiple issues, we have decided only to address the technical and management issues this week, and thereafter we will look to address the appeals and objections.
The divisional secretaries have decided to step away from the operations during the Aswasama week. The Sri Lanka Association of Divisional Secretaries and Assistant Divisional Secretaries in a statement said that it is not possible to complete evaluating the appeals and objections as issues in the relevant data program have not been addressed. It added that the issues with regard to the beneficiary bank accounts and other related issues have also not been addressed. Chairman of the Welfare Benefits Board said that these issues will be discussed with the divisional secretaries tomorrow.
A group of employees of the United Independent Contract Workers Union who work under contract basis for the Department of Agriculture visited the Ministry of Agriculture this morning. They are requesting that their employment status be made permanent.
A group of representatives representing the 9 provinces participated in this, and the group also held a silent protest in front of the Department of Agriculture. The group then arrived near the Ministry of Agriculture carrying placards. Thereafter, a group of representatives were allowed to enter the ministry. After the discussion, the group said that they will be heading towards the Presidential Secretariat as the discussion in the ministry was unsuccessful.
Senior Vice President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Shan Vijayalal De Silva, says that no relief can be expected from this year's budget. There is nothing to talk about new proposals in the budget document. The government has increased the prices of everything that needs to be increased. Even though Ranil Wickremesinghe is presenting the budget to the Parliament, this is just a budget document made according to their needs under the guidance of the International Monetary Fund. A hint has been given that some government employees will be given a salary increase. But those salary increases will not have any effect because the 15% VAT has been increased to 18%. I believe the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will meet and take the best decision for the country and the people of the country.
These were the views expressed by the national organizer of the SJB, MP Sirasa Nayaka.
The debt burden has increased, the cost of living has risen, jobs and opportunity for income generation are not there anymore. The people have lost hope of making amends meet. The VAT has increased. Despite all this, how can one say things have improved? A negative economic growth projected. We would like to clearly say the government and president have not taken any measures to progress the country. The budget will be presented soon and there will be a heartwarming stories as such. They will say that they will bring the economy to a great level. We will reduce our loans and we will develop the country. However, people will not because the government is incapable. The national organizer of the National Trade Union Centre, Vasanta Samarasinghe, says that the current government is changing taxes to benefit their friends while the people are facing severe inconvenience.
ඔබට මතකනේ සීනි බදු වංචාව නැව් ටික අපේ මුහුදු සීමාවට එනකන් ඉඳලා රුපියල් 50 තිබිච්ච සීනි බද්ද අඩු කරලා ගුදම් වලට සීනි.
Do you recall the sugar tax scam? They reduced the 50% rupee tax after the vessels reached Sri Lanka shores and then increased the tax. Ranil has done the same. The budget is to be presented and the taxes are imposed. Was any inquiry made about a sugar imported to the country before the tax was imposed? Was an inquiry made into the number of LCs? So now the associates have imported sugar for a period of 6 months. However, they are not taxed. The state loses revenue. Will Ranil, who allowed to loot the central bank, collect tax for the country? Ranil and the Rajapaksas are looting the treasury. The people are finding it difficult. Ranil is trying to sell off everything. So is the SLPP unaware. 122 MPs voted for Ranil in parliament and are now trying to say they are unaware. If the budget is not passed, parliament will have to be dissolved.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 122ක් වෙච්ච മന്ത്രിවරු අත උස්සලා රනිල් ජනාධිපති කරලා දැන් බබාලා වෙන්න හදන්නේ. දැන් එනවා ඔන්න අයවැය. අයවැයට අත ඉස්සුවේ නැත්තම් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරවන්න වෙනවා. ජනතාවට කොකා පෙන්න රටේ ජනතාවට බොරු කිය රනිල් තමයි මේවා කරන්න කිය බොරු සෙප්පඩ විජ්ජා දාන්න දෙන්න එපා.
Civil organizations, trade unions and civil activist collective says that a government that cannot provide relief to the people should no longer be in power.
Our question is, why does this government exist? Factories that would increase job opportunities are closing down one by one. If you look at how valuable this government is, no foreign investment can come in. The daily income of the country is 2 million rupees, while the daily expenditure is 4 billion rupees. If you can't do this, please hold an election and hand it over to someone who can credibly tell the public that they can.
කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා විශ්වාසනීය විදියට මහජනතාවට කියන අයකට මේක බාර දෙන්න.
The general public is overtaxed. The tax burden has been imposed on the common man, while tax concessions were given for large-scale productions for higher-ranking institutions. So we declare that this is not a fair tax policy.
වික්‍රමසිංහ පාලනයේ හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාව පොලිසිය.
The Vikramsinghe regime is thinking of using Triforces, the police and his henchmen in high positions and his cronies to work against the people. We are insisting that a budget that will provide relief will be submitted. If not, we are ready to give our response with the public.
දිගින් දිගටම පවත්වාගෙන යන්න අපි බල කර කියා සිටින රාජ්‍ය අර්ධ රාජ්‍ය පෞද්ගලිකාංශයේ සේවකයන්ට විතරක් නෙමෙයි සමස්ත මහ ජනතාවට සහන ලැබෙන අයවැයක්.
Sri Lanka police said that a section of Marine Drive close to the Bambalapitiya railway station will be temporarily closed from today due to repairs on the overhead pedestrian bridge.
Section of Marine Drive close to the Bambalapitiya railway station will be temporarily closed from today due to repairs on the overhead pedestrian bridge. Vehicles travelling from Vallavatta to Kolpiti along Marine Drive can proceed towards Gaul Road via the Bambalapitiya Station Road. Vehicles travelling from Kolpiti to Vallavatta using Marine Drive can turn at Glen Arbor Place, enter Gaul Road and then continue along Duplication Road to Vallavatta. Police added that the section of Marine Drive that will not be closed will be open to traffic.
Day 43 of the second leg of the LOLC Devi Savia program got underway, centering schools in the Valley Mud Education Zone in the Badulla district.
The second leg of the LOLC Devi Savia program will provide school books and stationery items to schools with less than 100 students. Students will be provided school books and stationery for a period of 1 year under the program. This worthy initiative is a collaboration between the LOLC group and the Ministry of Education. Students from schools including the Balatotala Vidyalaya, Katugala Primary School were gifted school books and stationery items this morning. School books and stationery items were also gifted to students at Utpanduna Mahavidyalaya, Erabadda Vidyalaya and 16 other schools in the Valley Mud Education Zone. The LOLC Devi Savia program will continue to create a bright future for the country's student population.
The leaders of 18 United Nations agencies have called for an immediate ceasefire in the Israeli-Hamas war, expressing shock and horror at the mounting death toll from the conflict.
The UN chiefs, including the leaders of UNICEF, UN Women, the World Food Programme and the World Health Organization, described the killings of both Israelis and Palestinians over the past month as horrific. According to authorities in the Hamas-governed enclave, at least 9,770 Palestinians, mostly civilians, have been killed in Israel's bombardment of Gaza. According to Israeli authorities, more than 1,400 people, mainly civilians, were killed in Hamas's October 7th attacks on southern Israel. Palestinian Minister of Health Maya Al-Kaila has announced that in the 31 days since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war on the 7th of October, a total of 175 medical personnel and 34 civil defense workers have been killed in the Gaza Strip. Said that during the same period, 16 out of 36 hospitals and 51 out of 72 clinics have gone out of service due to the Israeli bombing or the lack of fuel and medicine to keep the facilities from operating. The UN has said that 88 UNRWA staff members have been killed in Gaza since the 7th of October, making the conflict the deadliest ever for UN fatalities. Israel's Iron Dome interceptor has reportedly malfunctioned. The system's missiles have been doing U-turns and hitting houses and a hospital in Tel Aviv.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV. For details of the stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. You take care and good day.